Welcome to the Positive Pants Podcast. Mindset, motivation and inspiration to help you find your positive pants. It's time to let go of negative thinking, understand why you do what you do and stop the self-sabotage with your host, Fran Excel.
Welcome to the show. As always, it's Fran Excel, your resident subconscious success mentor, helping you find your very own pair of positive pants so you can get out of your own way and live a life that you love. If you want to stop self-sabotaging your own success and let go of the stress, then you are in the right place, my friend. Make sure you download your free Stressed to Success guided meditation at bit.ly/stress to success as my little gift to you just for being here. Please do subscribe, share and review. It really, really helps people that need to hear this message find us, and I so appreciate it. In the show notes, you'll also find details of how you can work with me and where you can get your mitts on my meditations, products, printables, programs. You can find it through the link in my bio on Instagram, which is my favorite place to hang out. So please do come join me over there at I'm Fran Excel. Tag me in your takeaways, slide into my DMs. I'm here for it. So that's the formalities over, my love. So let's jump to the content. What if you could love the person that you're becoming before you become that person? What if you can look at where you're at right now and the reasons that you'd like to create change with compassion and absolutely love the person that you're on your way to being before you're there, allowing yourself to also love who you are right now? How could that change things for you? What does that person look like? What does that person feel like? We have to remember that all these behaviours and foibles that we all have and beat ourselves up for having served us at one point in our lives. The feelings we've been taught to push down and deny serve a purpose. They are there to be felt fully. And we're really not taught this as children. We're kind of taught the opposite, right? So most of us as adults get into a little bit of a pickle. And a lot of this, the reason that we suppress this is it comes from our experiences as children. And like I always say, when we're delving into our unconscious protection mechanisms and the ways that we self-sabotage and why, it's not about blaming or shaming the people in our lives who didn't know better at the time, but it's understanding it's impossible to meet another human's needs 100% of the time. And everybody's only ever operating from the best of their ability at that time. And that is different for everybody. When those needs are met as infants, we internalize that. Yeah. We internalize that as like, oh, okay, I'm good. Everything's good. The world is safe. And when those needs aren't met as infants, we internalize that. It's not, it doesn't become I'm a good person in a situation where my needs aren't met. It becomes my needs are not being met because I'm bad. Yeah, this is the basis of a lot of shame and I'm not good enough feelings. It's not our fault. It's not even the fault of the primary caregivers a lot of the time, It's also not true that you're not good enough. Yeah. It's worth noting. Like, people are often searching for the perfect way to be, how to be the perfect partner, the perfect parent, the perfect friend. And the reality is that's impossible. It doesn't exist. No one is immune to this process of being human. And it's about learning to navigate that and see it as a beautiful thing. Yeah. So for me, life is about incremental improvements and being okay, learning the lessons. Like, I'm always loving on the person that I'm becoming, even though I'm not her yet. Yeah. Having self-compassion when I get it wrong and learning the lessons. The beauty of allowing yourself to be human and have the entire human experience. Yeah. We've just been taught a load of stuff that's not true. And again, it's not anybody's fault. We are where we are. The trauma field has only been around for the last sort of 20 years. So let's not beat ourselves up for this. Let's just get to know the person that you're becoming now, shall we? Because you can. And you can start to bring elements of that person into your life right now. And loving that person allows you to be really accepting of the person that you are. Because let's be really honest, as soon as we didn't have any issues or didn't have anything to fix, or that's in inverted commas, as you know, when we don't have problems, we're not growing. Like, life becomes stagnant and static. So we want that growth. We want those learnings. We are never a finished product, but we've been told we should be. Yeah. So let's get to know this future version of you. Best get comfy and grab your journal for this one. Or if you're out and about, let it percolate in your noggin and come back to it. Or if you're up for it, feel free to close your eyes if you're in a safe place to do so and you're not in control of any machinery or children or anything like that. If you're in a safe place to do so, feel free to just close your eyes and visualize this. And you can pause in between each question if you like. And please do remember that when we're doing this, it's from the perspective of seeing ourselves as that person, not beating ourselves up for not being there yet. Spoiler alert, you'll never be there. There is no there, and that is half the point. It's learning to see that as a beautiful thing. Life is about growth and evolution. You could do this exercise today and have a totally different experience and vision in a year's time. Okay? So much of what I do... Oh, hello, Milo. How nice of you to join us. So much of what I do is about inspiring kindness towards yourself. I beat myself up, berated myself, hated myself to various degrees for the majority of my life. And when I realized that was simply a behavior that I'd learned and internalized and not who I am, and that is all infinitely changeable, it was one of the most freeing experiences of my life and led me exactly here. So, ready to dive in? Awesome. So, whilst you're getting comfy, the first question I'd love for you to ponder on is, how does this future version of you handle setting and honouring boundaries with other people? I'll let you ponder on that for a second, or feel free to pause. How do they handle setting and honouring boundaries with other people? And what difference would that make in your life right now? Next, how do they handle setting and honouring boundaries with themselves? Which is often even more important. How do they handle setting and honouring boundaries with themselves? And trust what pops up for you in this as well. If you're using a visualization or if you are writing it down and pausing between questions, just notice what pops up first. Trust it. How does this person think, feel, and behave when they get something wrong or something doesn't go the way that they wanted it to? How does this person show that they know their worth, even when they aren't feeling their best? How does this person show up in their friendships? And notice which friendships come up for you as well when we go through this question. Which friendships are there and which friendships aren't? And again, it's no good, bad, right or wrong, just interesting to note. How does this person show up in their relationships? Relationships, the most triggering of all the things we need to navigate as humans, right? How does this person show up in their relationships? Through conflict, through love. How does this person show up in their relationships? And how does this person show up in their work? In their career, in their business, whatever that looks like for you. Another one to note here when it comes to work, like, how are they feeling around their work? What boundaries have they set there? Next one, how does this version of you behave when the proverbial hits the fan, as it inevitably will? How does this person behave when things get real? Next one, how does this person show up when they're annoyed or angry? And notice what comes up for you both from the perspective of how they show up to themselves or for themselves, and also to and for other people. So how does this person show up when they're annoyed or angry? Next one. How does this person treat themselves physically? Think diet, exercise, self-care. Are they at the top of the pile or the bottom? How does this person treat themselves physically? Notice in your vision what this version of you looks like and how that feels. What are they wearing? You know? And then the next one, how does this person treat themselves emotionally? Think self-talk. How do they look after their mind? What are their habits to look after and treat themselves emotionally? And while we're doing that, I want you, or I invite you, to really notice what is the difference in thoughts for this person. Like, what's going on in their head? What's the quality of their thoughts? What's the difference in their thoughts? How do they carry themselves? Like, what's their posture like? When you look at this person, what impression do they give you? And how does that differ to where you're at right now? And start thinking about how you could bring that into your life right now. Like, how does this person dress? That was the radiator, just so you know. How do they dress? How does this person dress? And most importantly, biggest question for you, how does all of this feel? Yeah. Feel free to go over this exercise as many times as you like. Take as long as at it as you like. Okay? But it's all within reach and nowhere near as far away as you think it is. Come back to this episode as many times as you like. Like, visualization is incredibly powerful, and you'll be training your reticular activation system to start filtering out all the opportunities for you to get what you want and showing your brain what's possible and already available to you. Oof, it's powerful and so blimmin' simple, so underutilized. Yeah, so I hope you got some insights through this little exercise that shows you what's possible. The difference in Fran 2.0 versus other Fran, most of her life and at her worst in 2014, is immeasurable, incomparable, and unrecognizable. But here's the kicker. No one can do the work for you, I'm afraid. But the more you understand yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, your behaviours and motivations, the more compassion you have for yourself and the quicker that you move towards being the person that you want to be. I'm not for a second saying that there's anything wrong or that requires fixing with who you are right now. But as you're here, I have a sneaking suspicion there is some self-judgment going on and some changes that you'd love to make. But you are always, always good enough. You are always worthy, right as you are right now. There's just some layers of experiences, traumas, and societal stuff that once it shifts will help you feel infinitely lighter. And the more you understand and strip back and rewire your unconscious programming on a nervous system level, the easier life gets. I promise you. You can go through some of the biggest things of your life and be okay. You're going to be okay. So if you'd like my help with that, you can, of course, book an Enneagram Essentials call to get you really moving on the self-awareness piece if you want to, if you feel so called, and understanding how to move towards who you always were and who you were always meant to be before life got in the way. So you can find details of that basically anywhere. If you're on my email list or if you are on my Instagram at I'm Fran Excel or at Enneagram and Excel, all of the places. But I just really hope that from this exercise, you just took a couple of insights that you realize you are so much closer than you thought you were. So if you got value from this and you know in your gut that now is the time to step up and start rewiring your thinking and start changing things for yourself, then join the Positive Pants Toolkit app and community so you can work out what needs to happen to get you from where you're at right now to the action-taking success you know you can be. And if you want my eyes and ears on your problems, then I work with people one-on-one and through my programs. You can find all the details to join the toolkit or book in a call in the show notes, the link in my bio and Instagram, and on my website, franexcel.com. So stop waiting for if and when and choose to change things now because you can. I'm here to believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. And as always, I hope you found this helpful. And I'll see you next week. Bye.